Welcome to Two Chicks and a Horror Flick, a weekly horror movie review podcast. I'm Tawny Ray.
And I'm Felicia Connor. Subscribe to get new episodes every Wednesday. We dive into trivia, drink a little whiskey, and of course, give our no BS opinions.
Join our Discord server or message us on social media to talk all things scary.
And if you like the show, consider supporting us on Patreon.
You can find all these links on our website, twochicksandahorrorflick.com. Thanks for listening.
Now let's get scared. All right. Hello, everyone. Oh my gosh. Hello, Tawny. People are going to be so sick of me going, hello, Tawny, because we don't talk very long. So we need to make sure we talk more often so that we don't always have 1,000 things to share and that we're so surprised to talk to each other. But
right.
Welcome to our little horror pop-up pod. Today, we are talking about Lamb from 2021. And we have some life events going on. So it's been recording has been hard, but this one actually worked perfectly right in the center because I wanted to do this for Mother's Day, but it also is very applicable for fathers. So we're like, you know what? Let's slot it in right here for both. So yes. Lamb 2021. But before we get into all the goodies, Tawny, what are you drinking?
I actually today, we had one Truly left, so I'm about to crack it and drink that. And
Yay.
Then I have some water for after that. What about you?
What flavor is that?
Citrus squeeze.
I think we're in the same vibe today because I also have my giant orange Stanley of drink. Just
nice.
Put that down so I don't make a big bang. But I also have a beer. It dripped everywhere because it's in an ice cold mug.
Okay.
It's in an ice cold mug. But this particular beer are my favorites. And they are, I have another one on standby.
Nice.
The orange Papago Orange Blossom.
Ooh, I think you've had these before and it does sound really good.
I love these. I love them. You can find them now at the regular grocery store. We used to only be able to go to Total Wine, but at Total Wine, you could get like a big 12 pack, but love these. And so I also have a citrusy drink. Citrusy alcoholic drink.
Citrus summer vibes over here. Yeah.
It's 102 degrees in Arizona.
Oh my God, dude. That's crazy.
Stupid.
Let's see how it's 80 here. Actually, that's higher than I thought it was going to be.
That's hot because you're just like having snow. Well, we haven't talked really for almost like 2 months, I feel. So maybe there's no more snow. That's how long. Last time I talked to you, there was snow on the ground. Oh, man. Well, that's what we're drinking. What's going on with you? What are your life updates? What have you been watching, reading, all of that good stuff?
Yeah, lots of stuff. It's been super, super busy at work, which I think I say like now all the time. And that's just true. Like it's just been outrageously busy at my work for the last like year. I feel like, and there's no end in sight. But so that was going on. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it made me laugh because you're like, so that was going on. And literally you just said work.
I know. Well, I was going to say as part of that, like we did a couple weeks of shooting for these big broadcast spots at the beginning of May. And we had a great time. The crew and everybody was like super amazing to work with. And I met someone as part of the crew who had worked on Hereditary. And I was like, no fucking shit, dude. I need to ask you 1,000 questions. And so it was awesome just getting to talk to him some more about it. Because then we did like a wrap party later that night. Because like this was like last day of shooting where I just was like, hey, are you like local? And he was like, no. And I was like, I liked your shirt yesterday because he had a Hereditary shirt on. And I was like, I like your shirt yesterday, but I didn't get a chance to tell you. And he was like, yeah, it's sad that it wasn't my crew shirt because I worked on it. And I was like, what? So like we went out later for the wrap party and I asked him 1,000 questions. We talked about horror movies, of course, for like so long. It was funny because Jade came down too because he was going to pick me up and he was like, I might as well just come down there and hang out. So Jade gets there, finds me like just accosting this man, asking him thousands of questions. And we were talking about horror movies, but he comes over and he goes, what are you guys talking about? Like horror movies. And he goes, that makes sense. It was really funny. But anyway, so that was a great time. He said that Toni Collette is like so super nice and that she would like come off of set like and tell you this like whole story, like get back into character and go act and then come back and just be like pick up where she left off and keep telling you stories. So that was really cool.
How incredible is that? And it's really nice to hear someone I really like is nice, right? Because so many times you think like, oh, wow, this person's really cool. And then you unfortunately hear like they're a total asshole or something on the set. Totally.
Yeah. So that was really fucking neat. That was like one of my coolest updates between last time we talked and now. And then here's my other coolest life update. I already told you, Felicia, so you already know. But I got an email also while on set for these shoots that my student loans are being like forgiven. They're like going away under the borrower defense because I went to the Art Institute and it got like rolled into the schools that count that like defrauded borrowers. And I thought it was like not even real. I showed people on set and was like, this can't be. I was like, this is
this is clickbait. I
was like, I just got this email, but like, there's no way that this is real. And I'm like looking at it and, you know, our producer, he's like, what's the return to address? And we're like, he's like, what does the signature look like down there? And I'm like, it looks pretty legit. And then like, I came home later that night and like did research and I was like, damn, this is actually happening. So not only are my student loans being forgiven, I mean, hopefully, who fucking knows? I'm trying not to celebrate too soon because it's like, who knows what's can happen between now and whenever this happens. There's a lot of red tape and shit, I feel like. But they're going to fucking pay back all the money that people have paid. And on average, it's like $19,000 per borrower, which is
holy shit.
Fucking crazy, dude.
That is amazing, Tawny. Oh, I'm sending so many good loving vibes your way that nothing fucks this up and it's just like legit. And it all. Have you logged into like your loan thing and is it zero or is it not paid off yet?
It doesn't look like anything's changed yet. I do it like every week because
I would do it like 4 times a day.
Yeah, I'm like checking a lot, like credit score. I'm checking the, on my student loan account. I'm like, has that happened yet? But we will see. I'm like, so I can't, it just like life changing, right? Like,
yeah.
So
I wish
much.
the colleges I went to, at least one of the colleges I went to defrauded its borrowers, please.
Someone.
I went to several of them. I just couldn't stop. So I would love one of them to have defrauded so that I don't have to pay them back.
Yeah, one of you come through.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, but that is just crazy. And, Jade and I just keep joking. We're like, we're rich now. Let's go get some Taco Bell because we're rich now.
That's incredible. That is really, really good news. Both the hereditary and the student loans.
I know. It's like amazing couple of weeks there. And then as far as like just things that I've been watching and doing, I really don't have a huge update since we talked last. The only thing is I got like through Mint Mobile, which we use, I got like a free 6 months of Paramount Plus. So we have watched like the latest season of Ink Master, which I love. It's like my favorite reality TV show ever. But then also, of course, the new Bridgerton. I'm sure you've watched it also.
I haven't seen it yet.
Mm-mm. Really? Okay.
I haven't. I see it on there, but I haven't watched it. Okay. The reason is because my oldest, who we typically watch that with, she, right after college, when she was done with her junior year, she's why don't I just say it? She's in Japan. She saved up her money to do a 4-week traveling around Japan with her friend.
That is crazy, dude.
I was never that responsible when I was that young. Are you kidding me? Yeah, she worked really hard. She saved up her money. And yeah, this week is her last week, this week coming up is going to be her last week. Then she'll be home and then we'll watch Bridgerton.
Oh my God. I'm so jealous. That's amazing, dude. 4 weeks is so long. Do you know, is she going like everywhere?
all over.
Okay.
So they had like, I have a list. I'd have to pull up her little chat to remember all the names of the places. But her one friend that she's going with, her parents live there. So they started out at her parents' house, and I'd have to pull it up, but and then she traveled out. They went to these museums. She went to Disney Sea. She's like experiencing all of these, and she's just sending pictures of the food and the clothing and the places, like all over.
That's awesome. Oh, so fun. Like, I'm sure I've said this a bunch of times, but this like Jade and I's like dream trip is we would love to go to Japan. So now I'm like, well, if we get fucking $19,000 back from these student loans, you better believe that'll be the first purchase we make.
Yeah, because I can guarantee, and she can share with you, like, because she had to do it on a budget. There's no way she was saving up $19,000 working for the school. You know what I mean? So I have it on I wish I could tell you at least one place she was at. It's on my calendar. But anyway, she definitely had to do it on a budget, but also we required that, because you know me, it couldn't be so budget that she's just sleeping in hostels. And I know there's people out there who are like, oh, you could totally sleep in hostels and just have a backpack. Okay, I'm not having my daughter, after how much true crime I watched, just go sleep in hostels. So all of her hotels and everything, she kind of ran it by us because she doesn't really know. She's like, oh, this one is only $15 a night. Okay, wait. Like, what is the average around there? And so we would look at it. She did that when she went to Colorado. So she also went to Colorado to go to a ball, like a legit ball. She dressed up in a ball gown. They had like a Bridgerton-y type ball. And so her and her friend bought tickets and they went. And she was like, I really want to save money on our hotel. So we found this Motel 6 and it's only like however much it was. And I was like, okay, you are not going to stay.
Sorry.
And so we had to help her choose a hotel because, you know, she's not really ever had to go and stay in a hotel. So anyways, yes. So you would be able to do it and still had plenty of your 19,000 left over. That was the whole point of my spiel.
That's amazing. So jealous. She, does seem very responsible with money. That's awesome. I would have never been able to do that at that age for sure.
She's a really big dreamer. Her biggest dream is to own, I probably have mentioned it before, but to own a bookstore. She's very passionate about physical books. She reads books like you, Tawny, like speeds through them. She cranks through books. And but she wants it so that she's being really smart about it, so that it is an experience. So people travel to go to this bookstore. So it's not just like a little bookstore, because we all know digital books and Kindles and Amazons and stuff like that have really taken over the book stores. But like a whole experience where every single genre is entering into this world, right? So this is like a multi-million-dollar project. But so she went to college for business entrepreneurship so that she knew how to run a business. And then she was so good at the math. I don't know how she got that, but she got it. She got some hidden gene of mine, my hidden math gene that did not surface in my own brain. And she was so good at it that her teacher was like, you should focus on accounting. You should have that focus. And so she's already got an internship with one of the big top accounting firms this summer. Oh, cool. And so just so much more responsible than I ever was. So I'm so proud.
You're like, yay.
Thank God. Anyways, that was all from Bridgerton. You said you watched Bridgerton.
Yeah, Bridgerton. And then Jade and I started going back and rewatching because Jade watched the second season with me and liked it. And I think you guys did the same thing. But we never went back until now. And so now I'm making him watch season 1. And then I'm sure I'm going to make him watch the rest of season 3 when it comes out. I'm not liking season 3 as much as the other seasons, though. I just am not. I don't know. I'm not buying Penn and Colin, but maybe that's just me.
I'm a little bit on the same boat. I loved season 1. Season 2, I liked it. I did like season 1 more than season 2, but I still liked it. Season 3, the first thing, I do like that they have a full-figured woman as, or I don't know, I haven't seen it, but it seems like they're hinting at that she might be the diamond, right, of the season. And she should be. She's smart and beautiful, and she's she's a smart and beautiful woman. So I think that that's really cool to kind of break the mold that she's, not just a super thin, beautiful woman. You know what I'm saying? So I think that that's a really cool thing. My biggest thing is I don't really like that dude. From all the, I like his character, but he is not very nice to her throughout their years together. I mean, he's kind of like, wait, I'm thinking of, he's the brother that always treats her like, he's always after the pretty thin girl, right? And treats her as, oh, you're just my little friend. He's not mean to her, but I don't think I'm sold that I like him very much in general as a character.
Yeah, I don't recall ever feeling like, any kind of negative feelings towards him for that. Like, he definitely is like, we're friends, all the way through the seasons until this moment. But I don't know.
I think he's like a little dumb, not dumb, like unintelligent, but like, I don't know. I just didn't like the decisions he was making in the past.
Yeah. Naive, maybe. He's like, naive. He's definitely a little naive.
And I think she always had a crush on him, but okay. I think this is my big, long, roundabout way of saying I think she could do better, is all.
Yeah. Interesting. You'll have to tell me what you think when you watch the season. And I'm excited for the second part. But yeah, Bridgerton is so fucking good. Actually, Jade and I keep talking about it. Jade's like, this show is so much better than it even has a right to be. I'm like, I know. It's like so good. But it also is very like wholesome feeling, which is nice. A good break, because everything else we consume basically is dark, and I usually like drama. But what I like about Bridgerton is that there is enough like drama to make it interesting. It's not pure like feel good.
Mm-hmm. Sexy time too.
Right.
There's a lot of sexy time, so it's not
great.
So pure.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Like when they're like, oh no, never mind. Sorry, I was going to go into last season when they did this, and I was like, well, no spoilers. Wait. No spoilers. Sorry, no spoilers. That was going to be a big spoiler too. What I was about to just share.
Anyway, but that's it for me. I haven't watched this yet, but finally, Godzilla -1 is somewhere where you can stream it. It's on Netflix as of today, I think. So I'm like,
sweet.
Gonna try to bully Jade into watching that with me. Oh, but we worked out this morning and I feel like I might die. So I don't know. We'll see. Might
Good
be
for you though.
Chill night. It was sucky, dude. We like got in the car. I was straight up like, I'm gonna throw up. We get in the car and Jade, I was like, that was terrible. It was awful. I'm not going back to that guy's class. He was a new instructor and it was bad. I hated it. He was just like, don't stop. You can't stop. There's like 2 more rounds of everything than I even thought there was going to be. And I seriously thought I was going to throw up. And I kept having to remind myself, you're an adult human being and no one can tell you what to do. Okay.
Yeah.
If you need to fucking stop, just stop. Or if you need to whatever, like this guy can't, he's not the boss of you, Tawny.
Oh my God. Oh God, I missed you. That's fucking great. I love that.
Anywho, that's enough about me. I'm so sorry. Tell me all of your updates.
I was saying that the other day to when I exercised to the people that were on my computer screen, though. No, I'm just kidding. Mm-hmm. No, but I did exercise last week once and I really loved it. So I need to do it more.
Are you still doing P-Volve?
Yeah, I really love that because I notice when I do it, my like the back pain I have, like very specific things, it gets better.
Yeah.
I just love it. My knees, my back. It's like such an old lady. Whatever. I'm going to stop talking about it anyway. Okay. So my biggest life moment was sharing all the stuff that my daughter's doing. No, but I also have just been working, lots of projects, just working. But my biggest update is day before yesterday on Thursday. Y'all know that I've been working for the past 13 years towards converting to Judaism. Yes. And the rabbi I've been working with for the past year, actually year to the date, we looked it up. He found another rabbi. So not getting too much into it, you might be like, why is this so hard? It's not hard unless you're trying to be Orthodox. other than that, you do have to study, and all of that. But if you're trying to be Orthodox, is a next level harder. And one of the biggest pieces is my husband is not Jewish. And so, but my commitment and the commitment of the entire family, all the children were raised Jewish. My husband, you wouldn't even, Steve is cooking kosher food. Like he's just not interested in converting. So my rabbi was behind me, but you have to have more than one rabbi. You have to have three. So he found one in New York. And on Thursday, he was like, okay, I talked to him. We talked everything through. He wants to talk to you. And I was like, oh, I literally have a notebook right here, you guys, with like a list. This is what I've studied. This is what I've read. Like I was ready to be grilled. And he got on. He's like, tell me your story. I told him my story. And he goes, I love it. I love what I've heard from Rabbi Bayo. We shouldn't make you wait any longer. So now, guys, yes, I'm getting to my story. We booked a date. Me and TT will be flying to New York on July 2nd and completing a conversion process, going into the mikvah. Yay. And it's going to just be so special to have her there with me. And since she's a kid and she hasn't turned 12 yet, then when they have their bat mitzvah, she can say, yes, I want to do this and go to the mikvah. She doesn't, because technically she learns from me, right? And then when she wants to have her bat mitzvah, that's, she does some studying and stuff for that. So, but the older girls, they would have to do what I did. And they would have to go through studying because they're adults.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yay, that's awesome. So is that then the third rabbi?
Yeah, so he's the second rabbi, but he actually specializes in making Orthodox conversions more accessible. So both of these rabbis are modern Orthodox.
Okay.
And so things like, for example, if I wanted to be Hasidic or ultra Orthodox, I couldn't because I'm married to Steve. I couldn't because I'm not in walking distance of a synagogue.
Oh, right.
There's lots of little things that have their purpose, but it would make it, pretty impossible for me unless I don't even know how we would do some of that. So this is looking at it. So the main things that we've talked about before of being kosher and celebrating Shabbat every single Friday and the holidays and all of this other stuff, being the central most important part of it. And it's definitely more Orthodox than other branches of Judaism, but it's also more accessible. For example, I have a very unique husband that is fully, you wouldn't know that he wasn't Jewish, except that he's not, he doesn't pray or anything like that. But as far as his support, and then, so this rabbi in New York, he tries to make, Orthodox conversions more accessible. And so he has rabbis there that work with him. So I haven't met these other rabbis. Rabbis everywhere.
Okay.
So that's how
package
it
deal.
works.
Got it.
The package deal. That's how it works. We're really excited. It's a really special thing where when you go into the ritual bath, you have to be completely undressed. You can't have makeup or lotion. Nothing can be between you and the waters.
So it's like a baptism, kind of?
Yeah, totally. Okay. Yeah. You could do it in a actually dedicated, special mikvah, the bath, or moving water. So in an ocean or anything like that, you could do it that way as well. And TT was really nervous because you have to be completely undressed, but we're going to be together. And then in the back, there's no rabbis or anything. There's just a woman who does that. She's there to tell you to get into the bath and then is a witness that you actually did it. And then that's that. Then you get dressed.
Gotcha. Is it like blessed water? What is there something different? Okay.
Oh yeah. Just like a baptismal waters.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Is that all you do, or is there more to it? Physically, because you have to travel for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have to travel for it only because that's where it is. And that's where the rabbi and the other two rabbis are.
Oh, okay.
When I lived in California, the rabbi I was working with 13 years ago, liked to do it in the ocean. So we would have been able to just go to the ocean. Yes. So what I've had to do for it was how much study and dedication I've done in the fact. That's the main part. So now what we'll do is we'll go in front of the rabbis. They'll ask me my story, and I'll share the story that I shared with him. Some ask you questions. He said I would just need to share my story. We would go back, we'd go into the waters, and then when we're done, he would give us the paperwork that we are Orthodox Jewish people. It'll have our Hebrew name on it, and it's recognized by the state of Israel, and bada bing, bada boom. That's that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So cool.
Okay, so that's like the biggest thing. I was in tears for like the past 2 days every time I talked about it. I'm a lot calmer now.
Nice. No, it's exciting. It's a long time coming.
Long time coming.
Yeah.
My last thing. So I finished The House on the Cerulean Sea and absolutely loved it. 5 stars, hands down, loved it. I started Smoke and Mirrors by Neil Gaiman and The Inmate. So more on that. The Neil Gaiman one is short stories. So I'm excited.
Okay.
Horror short stories or scary. Let's see. I have watched the movies I have watched. The Autopsy of Jane Doe. King Richard. The Idea of You. So The Idea of You is with Anne Hathaway, and it's like a love story.
Yeah, I've been curious about this one. I have not watched it yet, but I saw that it was based on Harry Styles and like read a little bit about that relationship, and it kind of like, ugh, I don't know. I was like, ooh, this feels weird. And so it like turned me off of the movie, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna watch that.
I didn't know it was about Harry Styles.
Yeah. He had like a relationship with a woman who was like 40 or something when he was like young. So
you should watch it then, because it's not, I mean, did not seem gross. Like she was definitely 40 and he was in his 20s. But I mean, it wasn't creepy at all. It was, you definitely wanted them to be together.
Yeah. Okay.
In the long run. So, but now that you know that though.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And I thought it was really sweet.
Okay. Yeah, I wish I didn't.
Yeah.
So I could watch that and not have it in my brain. But.
I did watch Late Night with the Devil.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So I don't know, like, is that something we're going to talk about? Should I just mention high level that I'm just going to say, I didn't love it. I didn't hate it though.
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
Yeah.
Okay. I watched The Other Lamb. So this is with, I think her name is Rafi Cassidy. She was in Killing of the Sacred Deer and White Noise. She's the young, fair, long brown hair. But it was about a cult in the wild. I don't want to say anything else. I liked it. I thought it was real interesting. So that's The Other Lamb.
Did you watch this by accident?
Okay, so I know I'm being a weirdo. No. So I got a Shudder. And so I had so I've been trying to watch things on Shudder. And then I also, there are evenings where Steve has been falling asleep earlier. And if I'm still awake, I'm like, I'm going to take this time to watch a horror movie. And also for Mother's Day, I wanted to watch horror movies all day and not be bothered. So that's why. And I like folk horror. And this was on the list of something that I've wanted to see.
Okay.
That's my story. I also watched Immaculate. All I can think about was you and how much, if you watch this movie, you will absolutely never, ever, ever become pregnant. Ever.
Okay.
I just want you to know. It made me glad that I've already had my babies.
Yeah.
And that one was with Sydney Sweeney. So yeah, that was it was, I wasn't disappointed. Like I think I kind of felt about that, like the new Exorcist, I had a good time watching it, but it was a good one. I also watched Z, because remember, I've been trying to get you to watch that for a long time. I always am like, what about Z? What about Z? About that little kid who has that imaginary friend. There's like this moon ball or this moonlight in the advertisements where the little kid rolls it and there's like a knocking on the wall. This little boy, and then it's called Z.
This is not ringing a bell.
Shudder, no. The note I have here is this will make you not want kids even though the kid is sweet. And then last but not least for movies, I watched If We went with TT to the movie theater and loved it. We cried and it was so cute. It was so cute. You guys, you gotta see it. It was really heartwarming. Okay. Already told you finished Fallout. We also binged and watched all of Suits and finished that.
Right.
We watched the roast of Tom Brady and James Franco. We were like in this mood to watch roast. The Tom Brady one, if you want something funny, was super, super, super funny. We watched, these are my documentaries, Expose the Case of Kelly Lane, which was interesting, about this mom who was a swimmer when she was a teen and they think she killed her baby. They can't prove it, but you find out she's gotten pregnant like every year and it's just like nuts. So that was familiar. Interesting.
I feel like I heard about that at some point.
We watched Space Shuttle Columbia, the final flight, and that was really intense and sad and amazingly done. We watched this show called Declassified, and it's about like American spies.
Yeah.
Or spies in general. It was super interesting. It was really good and interesting. And then these last two really. So Brandy Hellville.
Okay, I was looking at that. And I haven't watched it yet, but I was like, this looks interesting.
Yes, that was a real interesting one. And you're just like, oh my God. Like this is crazy. That's all I want to say because I don't want to, but good one. And then Dancing with the Devil, the TikTok dance cult. Just released Wednesday.
Okay.
And I also watched Annie Elise from 10 to Life, or it might be on her podcast, Serialously, but she covered it and it's even more in detail.
Ooh, okay.
Really, man. Yeah, it's a good one.
Okay. Noted. We're still in the middle. I can't remember if I mentioned this last time. I don't think so. But we started watching the new season of The Jinx. Have you started that?
Yes, we did start that. And it hasn't gripped me yet.
Okay.
But we did start it.
We have to, I think we've only seen the first 2 or 3 episodes. I don't know how many they're going to do, but I'm excited to keep watching that.
Yeah.
There's so much coming up too that's exciting. Like House of the Dragon comes back this month, June. There's a ton of movies out right now that are coming up that seem exciting. Obviously, The Strangers, Violence or of a Violent Nature. I don't know. I keep fucking up the title of that one, but that's out now. And I just saw yesterday the trailer. Like, I think the first trailer was released for the Silent Hill movie, Return to Silent Hill. And I'm so excited.
Oh, I'm excited.
I posted it in our Discord because I'm a little on the fence. Like, I watched also some behind the scenes stuff with Christoph Gans. And he was talking about how everybody who's working on this movie, he thought he would have to explain Silent Hill to all of them because he's like a major fan, obviously. If you've listened to our Silent Hill episode, you know. But he was like, I thought I would have to explain it to everybody, but they all got it. It was like there was another generation of Silent Hill fans and I didn't have to explain anything. And so like people just knew and they connected with it. And so I'm really excited about that. But I'm a little on the fence about the trailer itself. The footage is a little iffy. I don't know. I'm really like holding on to hope and just praying that it's as good as the first or better.
I'm excited for that. Now, I am not as excited for The Strangers only because I haven't seen any of the other Strangers. I liked the first one so much. I'm nervous.
Have you seen the trailer for the newest one? I
have. We saw it even when we were in the movie theater for whatever it is that we were watching. Probably the last horror movie we watched in the movie theater. And I don't know.
I know it didn't look good. I was like, this trailer is it just looks like a repeat of the first movie in like the worst way.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We have to watch it. We have to.
I mean, yeah, I like the idea of either aftermath or prequel of these people and how they became who they were. But I don't know, this couple in the forest, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
And then I've started writing my manuscript with a fountain pen.
Oh, Okay. So fancy.
I know, right? No, okay. So
Whoa.
I watched this interview with Neil Gaiman, and he was talking about how he used to, work on his computer, get distracted, this and that. But now he started to write in these notebooks, this specific notebook with a fountain pen. And it just opened up this different creative side. And I was thinking, I could never imagine doing that, but I journal every day and things do flow more. So I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. I got the exact journal he gets, the exact brand and the exact fountain pen brand, his cheaper fountain pen, not the expensive one. And I have written so much. It is like it's an experience where I sit down with this really nice manuscript on paper and my fountain pen, it's a nice fountain pen. It's not 200, but it's like 50. The ink just slides. I like the way it looks. I like that I can write notes, and it has felt like it's unlocked more myself creatively. And also I just like I look forward to the experience, where I felt like when I opened up my laptop with my blank Word page, I don't know, it wasn't as fun. So I'm just going with it. I write at least 3 times a week, and I'm trying to bump that up. But that was going from writing like maybe once a month.
Yeah, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. That I really think like the vibe about something really makes it different. Like sometimes when I'm reading, I'll put on like one of those like YouTube video like soundscapes or whatever that's like, rain in the forest. And I'm like with music, I'll like put that on and light a candle and like sit there and read. And it just makes it so like, it is an experience rather than just like doing the activity.
Yeah. And a lot of writers talk about that. A lot of people talk about that. Like, oh, I light a candle and then do this. And I tried that, but it just wasn't, I don't know. It just didn't work for me. Or I get my coffee. It's dark. I sit in this one particular space. It's like this routine. It's like this whole environment.
Ritual.
And I was really trying to find this for myself. And it seems like this, I just love it. Now I'm like a fountain pen nerd because I got another one with a different colored ink. So I could write notes, but it scrapes. So now I'm going to tune my nib of my fountain pen. Yeah. Okay.
Fun.
So
I love it.
Whew, all right. That's it.
Okay.
You want to get into it?
Let's do it.
All right. We're talking about, in case you forgot, because I did, Lamb from 2021. We watched it on Prime. We had to rent it. When you listen to this sometime in the future, maybe you don't have to rent it. The director is Valdimar Jóhannsson. Maybe Valdimar Jóhannsson. Okay. He also he doesn't have that many more movies. I think it's fairly new. He has Circus Maximus and Darkland. Case closed. So.
Okay.
All right. We have a very small cast. We have Noomi Rapace as Maria. And of course, I apologize if I am going to mispronounce all of these names. I've seen her in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, she was a girl with a dragon tattoo.
And she is, yes, Icelandic as well. She's from Iceland and lived on a farm like this growing up. So,
interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Hilmar Snayer Gunnarsson was Ingvar. Bjorn Hilner Haraldsson as Peter. And Laura Bjork Hall was the voice of Ada. Fun fact about Ada. So when we convert, we have to choose a Hebrew name. And I saw Ada and I'm like, Ada, God, that's so pretty. Why do I like that name? Okay, I remember now. In The Lamb, she said it a lot. Ada, Ada. Now it's in my head. I couldn't find a budget, but the box office was $3.2 million. Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 86%. IMDb gave it 6.3 out of 10. And Letterboxd 3.1 out of 5.
You didn't choose Ada for your Hebrew name, did you?
No, I haven't made a choice.
No,
okay. I haven't. It was just, I was scrolling and I'm making a list and I didn't.
Ada. It is a nice name, but I wonder, I was like, Ada? I kept getting fucked up because you read it like Ada and of course subtitles through the whole movie, but
It did win some awards. A European film awarded for Best Visual Effects. It was also selected as the Icelandic entry for the Best International Feature Film at the 94th Academy Awards. I don't think it won, but it was chosen.
Okay.
Here's my little summary. Why would I pick that word that I can't say? In rural Iceland, a childless couple discover a strange and unnatural newborn in their sheep barn. They decide to raise her as their own, but sinister forces are determined to return the creature to the wilderness that birthed her. All right. Tawny, I've been wanting you to watch this movie since December.
Is that when you watched it?
Yes, because I have a ritual when I wrap presents. I lock myself in my bedroom and watch horror movies as I do it. And so that's when I saw it.
Okay.
What did you think about this movie?
I think I kind of hated this.
No, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I hope that you can tell me something to make me dislike it less. I mean, I wasn't like angry hating it. I just was fucking bored, dude. I was so bored. It's such a long, slow burn of a movie. And then the resolution is very like anticlimactic to me. Like I was like, what is going on? I mean, I told you just because this affected our scheduling. I fell asleep. I fell asleep with like 15 minutes left. And I was like, I can't believe nothing else has happened by now. Like it must be an insane last 15 minutes. And it wasn't really. I just was like, I woke up from the nap, finished the movie, and was like, oh, okay. I don't know. That was just maybe a little too weird for me. I don't know. Like, I feel like the acting was good. I felt like for the first like 30 minutes, I was like, okay, I like this. I like where like they're doing a lot with a little. I like that. I like that the dialogue was scarce, but I knew what was going on. I kind of had a sense of like what was coming up. I was like, oh, clearly they've had a child and they've lost it. And like I was like getting that through the dialogue without them saying it. And I was excited. But then just from like 30 minutes all the way to the last like 10 minutes, it just was like, come on, let's do something here. And then it just was fucking, I don't know. I was like, what was that?
Oh no. Oh no.
That's where I landed. I don't know.
Okay.
How did you feel?
I think this is good though, because we're on opposite ends because I loved it. I did. Not to jump ahead, I don't think 5 out of 5 love, but I loved it. I thought but I can absolutely see you either are going to love it like I did, or you're not necessarily you're going to hate it, but you're not because you're going to be bored. I could totally see that. I loved the atmosphere. This is my favorite type of atmospheric. God, I thought it was beautiful. I loved how everything looked. Everything was always kind of gray and green and these shades. I loved how the animals were so real without really doing much. Like you said, they didn't do much, but you understood the story, which I really like as well. I'm reading a book right now that so far, I don't hate it, but it's like the author feels like they keep needing to explain everything to me fully. And I really don't enjoy that. And this, they barely say anything or show you anything, but you get it. You know what's happening. These animals are even the cat. It's like the cat is almost a victim in this, what he or she is seeing as she goes about her day, but it's so subtle. Or the sheep, right? And when they have like the shots like over the sheep into the doorway, over its head, or over like the rams. I just thought it was so beautiful. The acting was phenomenal. I mean, it was great acting. It wasn't unrealistic at all. Beautiful.
Yeah, the very first thing I wrote down was amazing animal acting. I was like, this dog, these sheep, like I was like the cat. Wow, amazing.
So wonderful. I liked the birth. I was on the edge of my seat, like wanting to know more, wanting to see this kid more. So for everybody, the baby is born and you don't see it for the longest time. You don't know why.
Very long time.
Very long time. She you think that she's just taken this lamb from this lamb mom and is raising it. And you're like, okay, she really wanted a baby, but why this lamb? But then you realize that the lamb is half human body, half lamb body. When I first watched it, I didn't catch the quick glimpse of the baby hand in the crib when they're sleeping. I saw it on the second one. So then you learn a lot. I learned a lot sooner in the second watch, but I'm so you love this little bit. I loved this girl. I love this little lamb girl.
Okay. Interesting. I had absolutely zero attachment to this thing.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, I'm not buying their attachment to this thing either. Like, I felt like there was no personality. And what didn't help to me is that half the time I felt like the lamb baby creature looked hokey. And then the other half, it was creepy. So it was like either creepy or hokey. And it just was like not leading me to being like, I see how you would want to take care of this thing, you know? Like I wasn't, It just wasn't getting me there. Yeah.
This is great. Cause I was hands down like how I would take care of this lamb baby. Like her eyes, and she couldn't speak, you know, cause she had this lamb head, but her little eyes and the way she breathed really fast. And like, it just, these moments of her, you know, realizing that she's different, but not like, who does she belong to and how? And God, I love this lamb baby. And I was thinking to myself, would I rate this lamb baby? I think I would, because I wouldn't know what to do. Like I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't want to go kill the little lamb baby. And then, but then I would be so, like, if we were in modern times, it would be so hard. Like, literally would have to lock her up for the rest of her lives. What is she going to be like when she's a teenager? Because, like, we couldn't send her to school. Like, they're going to take her and experiment on her. At least they lived out into this forest, right? See, you could see, I gave it a lot of thought.
You did,
because I cared about this lamb baby so much.
I feel like, yeah, maybe that's one of the fundamental differences in the way that you experience this movie. Because, like, yeah, I for sure was, like, not picking up on any of this. I was, like, did, like, breathing different or like mannerisms or how that thing was feeling at any moment in time. Like I wasn't getting any of that. I was just like, this is fucking weird.
Definitely then.
I don't know what I would do either, because it is like half human. What are you going to do? Like take it out back and shoot it? Like, no, because it's clearly part human. Not that you would do that to like a lamb either, though, you know, because you're like,
but they're on a lamb farm though, right? So
yeah,
I mean, they're farmers. So like you and I probably wouldn't want to go kill a little baby lamb either.
Of course.
I'd probably adopt it out though.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take care of a lamb. Not the baby.
Right.
A regular lamb.
A regular lamb.
I'm not going to be raising no lambs. So, gosh, and I felt like I had tears when the Uncle Peter was taking her out to shoot her.
I was kind of like, fucking.
You're like, do it? No. I was like, she's probably like just wants to be loved and accepted, and that he's taking her out and shooting her, and she's probably so scared and she doesn't understand. Like when she was watching the players in the football match, and you know they're so different than her, and she I'm wondering what her brain is like. That's lamb brain with a human body.
That is just so fucking interesting to me. I wonder, I want to go back and rewatch now through this lens, because I just wonder, if it was there and I didn't pick up on it, or I wonder if you are, what's it called when you like anthropomorphizing, like you're like giving human traits to animals or something, that you are putting that on them, you know, like like people do this with like dogs and cats, you know, like, oh, they love me, you know, it's like, well, they're just bugging you for food. You know what I mean? Like you're putting your like human, and I think like pets especially do have some of that. There is like some crossover, but it makes me wonder like That's such a different experience of watching this movie than what I had. Sorry,
I
continue.
definitely think, no, I love this conversation. I definitely think she was supposed to have some joy and some, like, she was dancing, and there's moments like that it just gets me thinking, like, what is her brain like? She has the head of a goat or a sheep, but the body of a human. So is it a mix? And there's moments I feel like there's moments now I'm questioning where she is having this emotion where it looks like she's having fun, dancing. When she was dancing with her mom, at first she's like shy and she's saying no.
Mm-hmm.
And how about just to say no? Actually, I just came full circle. If I go, hey, Rizzo, she's not even looking at me. But if I go, hey, Rizzo, do you want to cuddle on the couch? She's going to look at me like, what the fuck is this bitch saying? But she said, do you want to dance? And the little girl shook her head no. So that means that she understands, and there's some thought there. I was bought in. Maybe I was anthropomorphizing. I don't know what I was doing, but I was in it to win it. Okay, so let me do some trivia. I don't know if this will change your mind, but I love this conversation, though. It seems like we had such different emotional reactions we liked the same things. I think we kind of agree on the things that were good overall in the movie. Yeah. But that key piece of being emotionally tied in, I think, was vital. I do want to say one last thing. I was also disappointed in the ending. I wanted there to be more than her standing there. I was confused. And so then I was like, maybe I'm just missing something. And so, I looked into it in my research. Maybe there's more. Maybe I'm missing something. And I don't think so. I think I have it in here somewhere. I believe she had lost everything. I don't think I get the ending. I would want something more. I liked everything where that goat dad came and took her, killed the dad. Maybe another interaction with him, or maybe even if he killed her or something, just something more.
Yeah, I agree. It felt very, I keep saying anticlimactic because that's exactly how I feel about it. It's like, we're working up to something and we like don't know what it is, but then we get there and it just is this. And I think for me, the most interesting part of this movie is I feel like there's something there where she killed the actual sheep mother, like biological mother, because it was like
wanted her baby back.
Yeah, what's that word? Like it was like making noise.
Bleeding, isn't it?
Bleeding.
Bleeding. Yeah.
Yeah. It was bleeding outside her BLEET. Bleating.
Yes.
Bleating.
Ah!
Yeah. Perfect. Outside their window. All hours of the day. And so she like goes out there to kill the mother. And so you're like, whoa, that's fucking harsh. And then the fact that the father comes back later and kills the father, I felt like there was something there that was interesting, but I don't quite know what it was or what they were trying to impart. And it does feel incomplete or something, that like she is left now with nothing. And also like I just wasn't getting a whole lot from her at the end, it is sort of like, okay, well now what? And the answer is nothing from the movie.
Yeah. So I thought that final scene with her and her husband, I had tears in my eyes. Like when she was holding him, and dude, she did such a good job of this, this utter panic. She loves this man. It's the love of her life. He's dying. What is she going to do? They live out in the middle of nowhere. Like, this was brilliant. But then she just stood there and like, oh, and then it was like done. Like, what if she went running and maybe she saw them in the distance? Maybe the little goat baby looked back at her because she wanted to be with her, but she's going off with this man. Maybe the little goat baby doesn't have clothes anymore. Maybe the mom finds the clothes and just drops to her knees and is crying and holding the clothes. I don't know what the point would be. Now, maybe this will help. So there is not they wanted it to be like in Icelandic folklore vibe, but there's not actual This is not based on real folklore. There's not a story of the goat man that comes.
I was really hoping for that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was really like, that's what I was like, maybe that'll tie all this together, and I'll be like, oh, it's kind of like a fucking allegory or what, I don't know. Keep going.
So there's not that I could find. But they did want it to be that way. So a part of me likes that. It says it's like folklore, but not rooted in actual Icelandic folklore. But I kind of like that he's creating a new folklore. He's creating a new narrative and a new story. He said it was a dream at 18 that he documented in a journal. He had a dream of rams. So that one dream, remember, where there was all those rams and their eyes were like really
I liked
bright?
that part. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the dream he had, the director. So he documented it in a journal when he was 18. So let's fast forward. Him and from my understanding, the whole crew was family, like family and friends.
Ooh,
that
wow.
filmed
Okay.
this. Yeah. And he says, there's a lot of things I relate to. My grandparents were sheep farmers. I spent a lot of my childhood with them at the farm. I also grew up in a very small village close to the farm. I know this farm very well, this life that was depicted in that. And there's lots of this type of folklore in Iceland or Icelandic folklore. But this particular one isn't an actual. So it is rooted in the vibe of Icelandic folklore, but it's not based on a particular story. Maybe another reason I really, really like this is this book that I'm writing. Tawny knows it is based also in Iceland and back in like 1890. So I was really it was exciting being a part of this world.
Mm-hmm.
But the director said, I somehow feel that nobody can be wrong when they're asking like about the film. So definitely it is about parenting, loss, grief, right? It's also about othering. It's also about humans and animals. So there's lots of themes that you see in that. But overall, this one, let's see, it was from Filmhounds, I believe it was, or it could be a24films.com. But I can post all the links. I just have everything. But in this interview, he had said, yeah, you're right, meaning all of those different themes that are within it. But I somehow feel that nobody can be wrong because I left it open. And I really want the audience to get out of what they think because I think it's so boring if I just explain what I had in mind. I made this film because I really wanted to make a film that I wanted to see. I achieved that. But I also wanted to make it for the audience so that they could be a part of it in any way. So they can be a part of it in a way I can't explain everything for them. I trust them to come up with their own interpretations of the film and to have their own experiences. But yes, definitely some main themes are parenting, grief, and human relationship with nature.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I get that. For me, I feel like it was just too much like that. It feels like that, like a blank slate of a movie. Like, so what? Like, so what is trying to be said here, and what's the folklore, and what is the, you know what I mean? Like, look out for goat men who may come fuck your goats or your sheep. Like, I don't know. I was left feeling very much like, okay. And I like being able to interpret things your own way, but it's like too much that way for me. You know what?
This is so weird that I even feel the way about it I do, because that is who I am. When I get to sit down and go, oh my God, I want to unpack this. That is so exciting. I really feel about this movie, but I like it, is that it is a kind of a folklore story or a lore. It's there's another word that I'm looking for, but forget it. In and of its own, it's just a story like that. People would, did you hear about the goat man? That is like something you would tell around the campfire, that this story happened. There is literally, and it took me a minute to wrap myself around it. There isn't a message. It is a story. It is a story like you'd read in the book about what happens when this goat man raped that other goat, had the baby. Well, actually, I should back up. We don't know that it was rape. This goat might have wanted to be with this man. I'm imagining not, because the other rams were like, what the fuck? The rams were so cool, weren't they? Sorry, my mind is like, they're like out in the wild. The rams themselves, like, they were cool. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's just like a story.
Yeah,
you're
just
right. Given a story.
You're right. I am thinking of folklore like the monkey's paw, you know, which has like a pretty clear, like, be careful what you wish for type of situation. Ooh. But you're right. Like, actually, most of the time when I think of like scary stories to read in the dark, right? Like those stories, they are based in folklore, and they are like mostly just stories like this happened. And that's it. There's not a resolution, really. There's not like a moral to the story. There's not a point of view. It's literally like, you know,
this happened, this thing happened. Because think about this. I think maybe what you're talking about more, what we're thinking about as far as the moral, is a fable, like Aesop's fables, where this story happens, but it's teaching you, don't be a stingy ass, you know, like, or whatever the story is. But like, in lore, this, because you imagine if you were growing up hearing about this thing that happened and you happened to live on a sheep farm, you're like, oh God, I hope my mom doesn't find little sheep baby. But I do agree with you though. Like, I wanted there to like be a meaning, but everything I read, I was like, oh, he's just telling me a story. Because even the book I just read, right? House in the Cerulean Sea, there's definitely deep meaning, a message behind that. But I was thinking back, well, how about the majority of fiction I read? I don't think there is a meaning. It's a story, and it's a story that grips me, and I don't really learn anything from it at the end. I just go on this journey with these people, and I'm invested in the characters, and I care about them, and I go on a journey with them. And at the end, something happens. The majority of fiction I read does not have a deeper message. Yeah,
but there's at least like an arc. You know what I mean? Like your characters they go through something and they are changed in some way or shape or form. And I don't feel like that happens here. You know, the only arc I feel like we get is the brother, Peter, right? Mm-hmm. And he comes around to just accept Ada as she is, and also not, I guess there's a little bit of an arc with her not giving into like cheating on her husband with Peter, but like that's it. I feel like aside from those two things, there's really not any arc happening. So that's the other like unfulfilling watch part of this for me, I think.
I wonder if, because this is something that happened to this family, and in it kind of hits on this just real life, not real life like there's goat babies, but if this just happened, this is probably what would happen. I mean, even us at the end, what would we do?
Yeah.
But I do agree with you. I wish she would have been running around trying to find the baby. Maybe even if he was like, you know, I'll take you as I'll make some goat babies with you, or I don't know, anything for her to like, because she finds her husband shot, and then it's just like, fuck, I've lost everything. She doesn't say anything, guys. She just kind of, there's a picture of her and she goes, she looked like, I'm making a noise. I don't even think she made a noise, but she made a noise like, and then it was done.
Yeah,
and
totally.
She was just, that was that. But why didn't she go and run to look for Ada? What, does she just assume, oh, maybe there's a mythical goat man with great abs who took my baby, who took my baby, and now I've lost everything?
Yeah,
Well, how
'cause
do you
she
know
never
you've lost everything?
she never sees the goat man. The only people that see it is Ada and her husband.
What if someone killed your husband? What if they ran into somebody and there was a scuffle and they stole your baby?
Yeah, that would
Why
be terrifying. Of course you'd run them down. Yeah.
Why aren't you? The reaction was very weird. Did you just all of a sudden go, oh, there's probably a goat man and he's the actual father? No, of course you would not.
Yeah, totally.
I agree with you at the end. Like, there should have been more. She should have been running around. Maybe she just ran and ran and ran, and she's looking and looking and looking. And at some point, she drops to her knees and she's exhausted and she's bawling and she's crying and it's over. And we know, oh, yeah, she fucking lost everything. But she doesn't. And she's not just like, well, fuck. Now what do I do?
Yeah, totally. I love your idea of like finding the clothes. I feel like that could be really cool because there is kind of this element of like returning to nature. Like, and is that where she belongs, or is it with the human parents? But like they dressed her up as like a little human toddler, and like to find the clothes again feels like it would be kind of at least some type of closure on that theme somehow.
Yeah, because even if she could say, oh, this baby child returned to the wild.
Right.
There's this message of she's no longer mine. I don't need to look for her anymore. You know what? This would be a really great episode for the film rescue where we could rework it. But I know you don't probably want to watch it again. But
yeah. Totally. Because I feel like there is something there. And it just, it's like, it just doesn't get resolved.
Yeah.
And the other thing that this reminds me of at the end, the lack of reaction, something that really bothered me is when they find her, the lack of reaction between them was too weird for me. Like, I get eventually getting to the point where you're like, what are we going to do with it? We can't kill it. It's like half human, half sheep. Let's take care of it. But there's literally no discussion, no hesitation, nothing. They just are like, oh, this is our baby now. And that was too little of a reaction for me. Like, I don't need it to be served up to me on a platter, but like, really, there's no back and forth on this at all by either of you. You're just like, let's get a crib, let's put the crib back in our bed and or in our room.
Okay. I could totally see what you're saying. I did comment it a different way, where I loved their reaction when it was born, because I was like, what? Let me see. Like, I was because they were like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, and again, guys, they don't talk very much. So when I'm saying what the fuck, this was like the look on their face. They did not say anything.
Yeah.
But I did think building up to that point, you could see that he was really trying to like have a happy life with his wife, and she was just not there. You knew something happened. She was so depressed. And so I felt like when that was born, I felt like there was an unspoken holy shit. And then she took it. And it was almost like, this is what my wife needs to heal, to be happy. This is what she needs. It made me have a feeling, of course, I'm projecting all of this because it wasn't said in the movie. Maybe they've tried to be pregnant again. Maybe not. Maybe it was too painful to try to be pregnant again, or maybe they did. But there was other places where they had sex just this one other time, and it was... Mm-hmm. It was almost like her life was breathed back into her now that she has this baby.
Yeah.
And now their relationship was also, she was finding herself and her joy again. And I think, if you just live out day in and day out for your entire life out in the middle of nowhere, the only other person you have is you and Jade. You literally, I don't know, that's what you do.
Yeah.
Maybe, okay. Jade is so happy with his baby goat. his baby sheep girl.
He would love that.
You know, he's so happy. And now your relationship is happy. And now, you know, you guys are having fun. You're laughing. You're doing the stuff you love to do because he, you know, has this child that has been missing that you would be like, okay. It's not like they go into, I never see them go into town. Like, I don't know how they get any kind of supplies. I think maybe one of them drives into town to get it. But the majority of the time, day in and day out, is out in this. God, I was thinking I might get really bored. Maybe I'd want a baby goat.
Totally.
A baby sheep child, right?
That's fucking a really good point. Because you would be like, God damn, something interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, like, yeah, right?
I've been dying for anything of entertainment.
Dude, every day I just rake the grass and feed the sheep. And I do have a fun fact about this sheeping.
Sheeping. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Sheeping.
In preparation for her sheeping. In preparation for her role, Numi Rapace, if it's Rapace, I apologize, spent time on an Icelandic farm and even learned how to help a sheep birth a lamb. So that is all real, because I said, Steve, he wasn't watching it because it's not his jam. He did glance up every once in a while and he's just like, what the fuck? But I said that she's really doing that. There's no way. And he's like, oh yeah, that's real. So she really did do that.
Literally my second note is I hope they were trained how to deliver these babies, because I was like, that must be real. This is crazy.
Yeah, it was real. She learned how to do it. God, Can you imagine? Like, hey, Tawny, all right, so we're going to teach you how to do this, but now you got to be wrenching open that sheep's and pulling out these sheep babies. She did several.
That's why I took this note, because I was watching him just fucking pry open, and I was like, I hope that this is actually how you're supposed to do this, because that looks so terrible and painful and wrong. Like,
yeah, right?
What are you doing?
I should have looked this up, but like, why do they cut up the baby lamb ears? Because I know that people do that to dogs and stuff too. But I mean, like, why does it matter on the lambs? Like, people do it to dogs. Okay, first of all, I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying people do it to dogs for the aesthetic, for the look.
Right. But
you're like you're a farmer with you're lambing. you're sheeping. Like,
yeah. You're sheeping. You're also the only sheeper around, it seems like, because I was kind of like, maybe that's like a way of identifying, but like there is literally nobody around for like miles and miles. And
they all had those little earrings as well. The sheep had, right? So I wonder, why did they do that? There must be a reason. I don't know why, but that was real. And I would have such trouble. But I think she grew up on a farm like this as well. I don't know necessarily if it was a sheep farm, but maybe this just, I would have trouble with it just because I've never had to do anything like that. But
yeah.
Okay, so just so you guys know, my only couple of pieces, it was the highest grossing motion picture in history of Icelandic cinema.
That makes sense.
It made over $1 million in its first weekend. This also makes the film the most attended Icelandic film in the U.S. theaters ever. Even though, despite it being pitted against such big name blockbusters like James Bond, which premiered the same weekend. Also, it depends on the scene you're watching, but most of the scenes were shot with children, real lambs, and puppets. There's also some CGI, but they have real lambs. So they were saying it was difficult because all the scenes that we have to do it with puppets, then we have to do it with children, then we have to do it with real lambs. So it took a lot of time, and the actors had to do their scenes over and over and over again, but they were so great about it.
Ooh, what a nightmare. Kids and animals are like the two things that you don't want to shoot with, and like that's fucking 2/3 of those shots.
Yeah.
Well, probably more if the whole movie, you consider the whole movie, but just with Ada, right? Like 2/3 of those shots you have to get are a kid or a toddler.
Yeah.
Or I mean an animal or a toddler. That sucks.
That's all I have Tawny, I'm feeling okay. Like, I don't think you disliked it as much as our ones and stuff like that. So, Tawny, what do you rate this movie?
I am nervous to go first, but
maybe it is a 1. Oh no.
Not quite that low, but I think I am going to give this a 2.
Okay. It's not below Otis. It's not below
Halloween 3.
Halloween 3. Okay.
Yeah. No,
okay.
I couldn't go that low because I think there's some redeeming parts to this movie. Looks good. The acting's good. I feel like it had interesting ideas. And I love an atmospheric movie too. But I think this was like too little substance for me to really enjoy it. So but you know, I like a lot of my 2s and like my lower scored movies, I look back at them and I had like a vehement dislike. Like I was like mad. I was like angry at the process of watching them. And that I don't feel that way about this movie, but I also think I need to start rating things that I didn't love lower, even though I wasn't mad about it. You know what I mean? Because I think I'm just like kind of fucking up my own score spectrum. So I like had to go low because I looked at like Near Dark. I gave a 2.5 and I had to ask myself, did I like this less than Near Dark? And the answer is yes, because there's like nothing happening. Like Near Dark at least was like a funny experience to watch for me, you know, like I had a good time doing it and I like laughed about it. But like this movie just was so like there was just so nothing happening for so long for me, just my experience of watching it. So I went real low, but it wasn't like I was like, this is fucking stupid. I hate this movie. Like, whereas I did feel that way a little bit towards Otis or like Halloween 3. So I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Tawny was like, oh yeah, I'm giving it a 2. And I'm like, okay. And then she's like, cause it was worse than this and worse than this. I'm like, whoa.
Ouch.
I am going to give it, I respect your score. I'm going to give it a 4.
Oh, okay.
That's how much I liked it. I was looking at all my 3.9s.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I liked it
more.
And then I was looking at my 4s and I'm like, yeah, I feel good about this.
Wow. I feel like the last time we were this split had to have been.
What was it?
The Dark and the Wicked. I feel like that.
We need to revisit that.
When was that? I'm trying to find it real quick. And I think that was like a full 2 point.
Like polar opposite. I'm trying to look at this.
Oh, that's not even that big of a difference. I gave it a 4 and you gave it a 2.9. So that's like a 1 point. And I feel like we were really far apart on that one.
Ooh, so do I. Oh, wait. Gonjiam was way different. You gave it a 4.25. I gave it a 2.9.
Oh, that's true. That's like almost it's like a 1.5-ish or 1.25 score. But this is even more. That's 2 points. We really landed it on different sides on this one.
Yeah, you're right.
And, don't worry, darling.
Speak no evil. You gave it a 4. I gave it a 2.
Okay, so that was one of those. Yeah. That's more recent, but definitely Don't Worry, Darling. We were like,
oh yeah, you were like not having it, and I was like, dude, you're insane. That was fun. That was a fun conversation. I thoroughly enjoyed it. We do not know what we're recording next, but we will be recording. Our anniversary is at the end of this month, end of June. Can you believe
4 years?
4 years. All right, everyone. Thanks for spending the morning, afternoon, or evening with us, whatever it is for you. If you've seen Lamb, please do share your favorite scenes, quotes, or theories on social media using the hashtag 2ChicksAndAHorrorFlick. And while you're there on your favorite social media platform, give us a follow. And what else, Tawny?
You can support the show by giving us a like, review, and subscribe on whatever podcatcher you're listening to us on. That is it. So we'll see you next time. And we hope you have such a good night. No nightmares.